Hello, hello. Welcome to my September TBR. Today we're going to let the TBR jar choose some of our reads. You'll see why in a minute. Before we get to September, let's wrap up August. Took me a minute there. I finished 8 books altogether. Yay, me! I got The Blood Mirror done by Brent Weeks. That was book 4 in the Lightbringer series. Loved it. It took a lot of strength not to just continue with the next book, but that next book has to get on this TBR because I have to read it. Beartown, I borrowed from the library, so I also don't have a copy because I had to turn that back in. And that was by Friedrich Bachmann, and incredible. Loved it. 5-star. That one went on my... I put the whole series on my list and like every book. So we will see. I know no author like every single book is going to be, like your favorite. If you like that author's one book, it doesn't mean you're going to like all of them, but I think I'm going to like all of them. The Last Dragon Slayer. So delightful. This was a surprisingly delightful book. It's one of those where, why did I wait so long to read it? So this one, I also put the whole series on my list. I want to get to the rest of them. I think it's just a trilogy, so there's just 2 more. But it's a YA, I would say, based on the age. But it really reads like a middle grade. So it was hopeful and beautiful, and there was a surprise at the ending. So I really loved that one. Yay, Jasper Ford. Nicely done. Also read The Pairing by Casey McKiston. It was my first Casey McKiston, and read it on ebook. And I am not putting the rest of their books on my list. It was not my favorite. Next, I read Egypt's Fire, another middle grade. I like to tuck in the middle grades with like these, denser fantasy or like horror books and stuff. Quite delightful, really fun, quick read. I really like John. That's the main character here. It's fun. The characters were nicely complicated and couldn't quite tell who was good and who was bad, which was fun for a middle grade. Usually it's more black and white, so I like that. Island Realm. That is the first book in the Crystal Door series by Rebecca Mesta. So I read the first book in here, Island Realm. This one is a trilogy. It was really sweet. It's YA for sure. And if you have, and reads like YA, if you have not read a lot of fantasy, this is definitely something. I would give this to younger readers for sure. Bel Canto was audiobook for me. Yeah, it's by Anne Pratchett. I'm not even going to say anything. Okay. And then physically and audio, because I had the audio for this too. I did both. I read One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. It was my first Ruth Ware, and I don't know if there's going to be another one. I think this is a problem for me with first person, because if it's first person, you see how their brain works. And you're like, why are you doing that? Like, if it's in third person, you can give them a little more leeway. You can be like, yeah, some people make crazy decisions. But it's when it's in first person and you see how they're making decisions and you're like, I don't like you. And it's really hard when it's first person and you don't like the first person. There's only one point of view character. So this one was not for me. But... is what it is. Doesn't mean other people don't love it. I mean, Ruth Ware is extremely popular. So it's not like my opinion is probably going to be common, but not for me. That's all. So that was 8 books, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was 8 books. So proud of myself. And if you remember, we were participating in, I might not have grabbed the sheet. I did not. The deck of TBRathon by, but that one, and there was a red team and a black team because it was, cards, right? So deck of TBRathon. Clever, right? And red team won. Yay, red team! So we get to choose what book Bekah and Chloe will read in this upcoming month. I mean, one of the books. They read lots of books, just, like all of us. Like all of us try. Chloe reads a lot more books than I do. Actually, so does Bekah. But so yay for that. So that one is over. That was a very, very fun August for me. I love it. I'm a little addicted to these games. So I will be playing more games this month. And can I tell you, there was a whole stack of them, and it was extremely hard to decide which ones to play. But the first one I saw it's academic themed, which is right up my alley. And I'm like, okay, and you only need to read 5 books to complete that one. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that one. And so that one is Seasonathon Academy by Completely Melanie. And again, I'll put that link underneath if you want to join us. So it did start September 1st, but it's just started. So come join us. The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso is like the class project book. So I got this one from my library. I'm really enjoying using my library. Is that weird? It's like being a kid again. So this one is like the required book. It's the class book project. And so this one is, and we get to talk to the author on September 21st. So that'll be fun. So if you want to do that and get in on that, do this. Again, I will put the link below if you want to join in. That one has multiple categories. You can see the Seasonathon. They have different categories. Like one is English, read any book you like and post a review. The English 2130 is read an American classic or an American banned book. The third book is select one from the natural science with lab category, and they have, astronomy, biology, chemistry, geology, physics, those kind of things. And each one, like physics, is read a sci-fi and post a review. So like each one has a different academic category, and then also the book category to go along with it. And you only need to do one of those. 4 is select one from the non-Western culture category. Number 4, select one from the non-Western culture category. And these are things like anthropology 1500, English 3560, geography 1030, things like that. And they have like read a book from a culture other than your own, read a book by an African author, read one by an Asian author, a Latin author, read a book set in a country other than the US or UK, things like that, right? So, and again, you only need to read one. Fling 3120, foreign language. I'm like, what's fling? It's not fling. It's foreign language. Sorry. I've been out of academia for a while. Foreign language, 3120. It's a intermediate foreign language 3, and it's read a translated book. And I only own 2 translated books. These ones, Short War and Blue Book of Nemo. This one was in Nebo. This one was in Welsh, translated into English, and Short War was in Spanish, translated into English. So these are the only translated. I did do a little research beforehand. They're the only ones I own. So we will, I really need to get one of these in order to complete this. Otherwise, I have lots of options, so we'll see what happens. The other one I'm doing, because I had to choose another one. I mean, that was only 5 books. I like to put 10 on the TBR, right? I only have to read 5, though. And I have some secrets in just a moment. It is what it is. DragonCon interrupts things and makes them better. Slayerfest 2024. Hello, huge Buffy fan. I just rewatched the entire series, and when I saw this game going on, this readathon going on, I was like, yes, please. It was meant to be. And so there are different categories for that one. And one, you had to choose which group you were in. And I chose witches because the main bonus for witches is fantasy or magical realism. And I read more of that than anything. So I was like, okay, so witches makes sense. Even though I identify as a watcher. And that was nonfiction. And I do read nonfiction, but not the most. The thing I read the most is fantasy and magic realism. So I was like, all right, so witch makes sense. And if I'm not going to be a watcher, I would have been a witch. I mean, let's face it. Either Giles, I'm getting older, so more Giles. But when I was younger, it was more Willow. So it works. And you had to read a fantasy book for that one. And that was The Island Realm, because you could read it before September started. So I read Island Realm. And so that worked for both Bekah TBRathon and Slayerfest. And now witches. And you can choose one weapon. The weapon kind of gives you an advantage. The creator of Slayerfest is Brittany from Rescues and Reads. I will, again, just like the other ones, I'll post the link in the comments so that you can click on them. Brittany she's dropping prompts every few days. So I can't really, making a TBR for that one's not going to work. So I'm going to try whatever TBR I make now to squeeze those books into the categories, which I will tell you she's already dropped the first two, and they're pretty broad, so I should be okay. But because I'm going to have a TBR and try to squeeze it in, the weapon I chose was the thing, Mr. Pointy. To earn it, I had to read the lowest rated book on my TBR, which I have to do for Hurkit anyways, hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. I have to read the lowest 5. Gotta talk about that later too. So I chose the steak, and that way I have a mood read. So if she puts a category on and I have to choose something else or something I don't have or any of those kind of things, I can just choose a different book. So then I can choose one out of this TBR to replace that. So I'm very excited about this one. We get points for that. There are sidekick quests that you can like read other books that you're reading to still get points for your team. And every member of the team needs to get at least 3,000 points, which is based on page reads. And it's very exciting and I love it. And you should all join us, join Team Witch, because we're the best, of course. So come join us and let's get these books read. But these are so fun. Why did nobody tell me you could play games while you were reading? Why do people hide things from me? So I'm not hiding it from you. You just go out there, explore, play some games with us. It's fun. Before I choose my TBR, I do have a confession to make, and that is DragonCon. DragonCon was the end of August, the beginning of September. It's always Labor Day weekend every year. We just got back from it. Yay! But what it meant was I was extremely busy, very occupied, and had almost zero time to read during DragonCon, which is when August ended. So I had started 3 books and didn't get to finish them in August. Now, on the way home from DragonCon, I was too tired to do any work. Work. My brain, look, so much editing is going to be happening in this video. I cannot. You hear it in my voice? You hear it? You hear it? Yeah. On the way home, I just read, and I finished 2 books. One was the ebook Her, which was my lowest rated book on Goodreads. That one qualified for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do and for my steak. So that was kind of cool, but 1 starred that baby. It didn't end. It didn't end. I was extremely angry. Luckily, the next book I finished, also on the car ride on the way home, DragonCon's in Atlanta. We're in Houston, so it's a 13-hour drive. So I had some time. Second book I finished was this library book, Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake. 5-star. So good. So fascinating. Every chapter has a theme about a certain fungus, right? Or a certain type of fungus or a certain role that fungus plays. So cool. I learned so much. It makes me want to be an amateur mycologist so I can go out and find my own mushrooms and study lichen. I think lichen, I've always been fascinated by lichen. Everything in here, it's so cool. I love that one. 5-star. 5-star. So that was nice. Then when I got home, I was listening on audio to Second Life by I wrote it down, S.J. Watson. It was another thriller also. It was my 3rd lowest rated on Goodreads. Yeah, 1 star. It didn't end either. What is it with these books not ending? It's not a thriller if it doesn't end. Where's the satisfaction in that? No, I see why they were the lowest rated. I'm not the only one who's like, hello, ending. So I have other complaints, but the biggest complaint, the reason they both got 1 star, was no ending. And I don't mean cliffhanger. I mean no ending. So I was not very happy with those 2 books. But what it does mean is that I have already read 3 books this month. And my goals for the rest of this year is 5, so I only have to read 2. And secret number 2, I've already started some of these. So I have started Wizard of Earthsea that qualifies for Slayerfest 2024, and it's a series that I want to finish and you have to, a series that you've not read before, you need to finish the whole thing. It has to be 4 or more books for hardest reading challenge you ever do. So this is the one I've chosen, and it worked on for the Slayerfest side quest. So I have Wizard of Earthsea that I am reading on my ebook. And Obsidian Tower, as I already talked about, I've already started this one, my beautiful library book. And secret, now that I've been doing this for a few months, surprised myself, I read physical books faster than ebooks. In my head, I thought it was the other way around, that ebooks, I read those faster. No, I'm reading physical books faster. I don't know why, but something new to learn about myself. So Obsidian Tower I'm reading. This one works for both the Seasonathon Academy and Slayerfest, because the first one for Slayerfest was an author you've never read before. Bam! So, and it's lots of pages. Remember, page counts? So there's lots of pages in here, and there's bonuses. Like it has LGBTQ representation, and it has, and it's fantasy, so we get bonuses for that kind of thing. I don't know if obsidian counts as a natural element. We get bonus points as witches for natural elements. So I didn't count it, because I'd rather play on the safe side. But there's no flowers or, wild creatures or anything. So, but I don't know if obsidian counts. But, so I'm already started this one as well. And for the audiobook I started, now they finished the horrible one star, I just started, as in downloaded it, haven't actually hit play yet, the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. This has been on my TBR for a very long time. It has been highly recommended. Oh, that's really, there you go. It's been highly recommended by quite a few people. I respect their opinions. So I'm looking forward to this one. It will be my first Barbara Kingsolver as well. This one is medium length, but what it is it's dense, right? It's a literary fiction. It'll probably take me longer. But I like doing the audio, especially for lit fic, because I do it while I'm washing dishes or any of those kind of things. It's easier to pay attention and not space out, which sometimes I do with lit fic, since they tend to be more like beautiful sentences. And as much as I admire people who write with beautiful sentences, my brain wants faster action. So the audio works really well for this. And because I have the physical, if I really want to get through this and I don't, I'm in public or I'm doing something else, I can just put the audio aside and I can keep reading physical. And again, I've had the physical forever. So, and this also takes place in the Congo, and it's historical fiction. So there's a lot of things that I can pull from these for Hurkit as well. It doesn't qualify it does qualify as a side quest. Sidekick. There's lots of sidekick quests on the Slayerfest 2024 list. So this will qualify. I think I put it in 400 to 500 page book. And there's different points. I don't remember what they are for each one. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, that's what I did. So these 3 have already started. Also, so new thing that I have started is books that made it on my list, but I didn't read, like Hunt for Red October. It was also true of Bits and Pieces by Jonathan Mayberry and Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. It's Holly Jackson, right? It is Holly Jackson. I didn't quite get to those 3 because I added some other ones in for these other things. What I did was I wrote on a postcard the name in case these fall out. I do have cats that like to knock all my stuff down. So in case they fall out, I did write the book title and first pick and when that was. So you can see that. So for my physical, what I'm going to do is if it is picked 3 times for a TBR like this and I don't read it, then I'm going to unhaul it. Because if I have 3 opportunities where it is prioritized as a read and I still don't choose it, obviously I don't want to read it. So why am I holding on to it? This is for fun. This isn't for school. I don't have to hold on to it for any reason whatsoever. So I have 3 books now that have a little yellow index card. They have been marked. So we shall see. We shall see what happens as this goes along and what happens. But if I keep putting like 10 books on my list and keep reading 8, I should be able to get through them, right? It seems logical to me. We'll see. All right. Are you ready for the fun part? I have this incredible, awesome bowl I bought from the Tomball Farmers Market. So nice. Support small business. Support small business. I wanted something to put these prompts in. There are so many games and I'm so excited, and I like to play them with the creators on BookTube. But I thought I would start small since I'm already doing these readathons, and I'm just going to do my TBR pick will just be out of the bowl, I guess. It's not a jar, is it? It's so pretty. I am a witch. Maybe this is my cauldron, right? It's my cauldron. I mean, I'm a witch for this month. I'm already reading these 3, right? So I'm going to pick 7 more. Hopefully I can squeeze them in to the Season Academy. Otherwise, I'll have more than 10 on my list for this month. And we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. First pick. More than 300 pages. Hey, that comes out not too bad. All right. I am going to put The Burning White on this list. It is I have an ebook copy. It is the last book in the Lightbringer series. So remember, it's the one I was trying really hard not to put on, and I really want to read it and finish it out. I love finishing a series too. It's 960 pages. So hopefully I will also be able to squeeze it into Slayerfest so I can get points for all of that. So pick number 2. This is the fun part. Do you want to see it? It's more fun if you see it right here. Less than 200 pages. And if you saw my 2 translated books, they're pretty small. So let's see. I've been wanting to read this one forever. Let's see how many pages. Come on, be under 200. Considering that last one I picked was 960 pages, this is pretty cool. Here we go, here we go. 150 pages. Look at that. 150. Don't read the end in case you don't want spoilers. 150. Yay! And this also works as the translated book, right? So translated book for the Seasonathon Academy. Third pick. It's so fun. I know you want to play. I got 2 of them. Ooh. The cover is a different color than the spine. If you can see that. Color is a different color than the spine. It's really common in, like, romance. I wonder if I have any romance that will fit this category. They're all hiding behind me. All right. There's a lot fewer of those than you would think. But I do have Daisy Jones. Daisy Jones in the 6. So you can see that's definitely a different color. So I like this one. This is a historical fiction about a fake rock band. So that looks fun. I have not read any Taylor Jenkins Reid, and she is a booktuber fave. So it'd be nice. This is Clockwork Butterfly by Kendra Morena. I found this author at a little local con. So this is an indie author. I've not read enough indie books this year. So that could be fun as well. Jonathan Mayberry, Broken Lands. But I really need to read bits and pieces if I can get it on. So I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to say no to this one, because I already have one I need to read. The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. So I've been wanting to read this one as well. I don't know if that quite counts since it's colored on this side, but I'm going to say close enough. So, and Becoming by Michelle Obama. So I'm going to say that's different because it's more blue, right? Or I don't know what color, a shade of blue of some sort. And then the cover. So I'm going to call that different. And this one is thrifted, so it would count under the thrifting category. Hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And I don't have any of those yet, so that could be cool. But I also really, really, really want to read Daisy Jones in the 6. I've been dying to read this one. This does not count as thrifted, though. I don't think this counts as anywhere except for fun, which is kind of fun. I'm going to do this one. So Becoming by Michelle Obama. That will be my third pick. And that's going to be that the spine is a different color than the cover. I like to have a nonfiction every month, so this can be my nonfiction. Though calling memoirs nonfiction, I think, is a bit of a stretch. Fourth pick. I'm seeing now how these videos get to be an hour long, though. Nature on the cover. Nature on the cover. Let's see. The Haunting of Hill House, which I really want to read for the Academy thing. And I've got a good stack of physical. I do read them faster, but I like to have some audio and I like to have some ebooks too, so that I have a variety of things that I am reading. I like to read one physical, one ebook, and one audio. And Haunting of Hill House I'm going to get on ebook. So let's do Haunting of Hill House, because the cover, you can see the cover has trees on it in front of the scary, scary house. So we're going to do Haunting of Hill House. I'm afraid I'm a latecomer to Shirley Jackson, so I'm excited. I have not read her before. I just watched the show, and I was like, who is this Shirley Jackson? And so now I'm excited to jump on board and read her brilliance. I have found in the classics that I've been reading lately, I like the ones with female authors much more than I like the ones with male authors. I don't know if that's just my own bias or just currently what I have chosen to read. So we'll find out. So we shall see how Shirley Jackson holds up for me. Pull number 5. There you go. That's how you do it. Green on the cover. Green on the cover. All right. Green on the cover. What else do I need on here? There's actually only one left on here that I need. So let's just pick a fun green one. What do we want to read? It does. Okay. I need to read for my September pick is The Seemingly Impossible Love Life of Amanda Dean. And as you can see, that gentleman is wearing a green suit. Green on the cover. It doesn't say green cover. It says green on the cover. Totally counts. Totally reading that one. And guess what? That's all the ones for the Academy one. So yay! I can finish the Academy one. It is by Anne Rose. And I'm going to their launch. If you're anywhere in the Houston area, Anne Rose's launch for this book is September 13th at Barnes & Noble in the Woodlands. So you can come out, get a signed copy like I'm going to, and then we can read it together. 2 more. 6. Here we go. Number 6. I always get excited and want to pull like 20, but what's the point of that? The whole point is to limit the things I have to choose, right? Book outside your comfort zone. Book outside my comfort zone. Quite frankly, memoirs are outside my comfort zone, which is why I've been trying to get more. I already have a memoir on this list, but I don't do the double upping thing. I do have another memoir, Leave Me Alone, I'm reading, by Maureen Corrigan. It is coming to my library. It's not here yet. The second prompt for Slayerfest 2024 is thing that I'm interested in. Maureen Corrigan is a book reviewer. Look at that. So it's all about books and, you know, her experience with being in the reviewing world and that kind of thing. So I'm extremely interested by that. Last one. I know y'all thought I was never, ever going to get done. All right, here we go. Red cover. Didn't I just say I wanted red cover? Yes. So what I'm going to do for red cover is The Hunt for Red October. So this is, we're doing a secret project, my husband and I, and we might have roped one other person to help us with it. And so this is for that. And notice this is the one I showed you that has a 1 strike already. So I really need to read it. So Hunt for Red October. It's also, I bought this at a Goodwill. So that would be 2 this month that were in the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. It's like garage sale, but thrifted or any of that kind of thing where you get them from. So that'd be 2. I only need 1 more and that category will be done. So yay! Let's see what we got. I should have my Kindle here just for, placeholder. I know it looks like only 5, but there's 10. All right. So to wrap up, we have Obsidian Tower. This was one I've already started. The Poisonwood Bible I've also already started, and Wizard of Earthsea that I have already started. The category of more than 300 pages will be The Burning White by Brent Weeks. The Blue Book of Nebo is the less than 200 pages. Becoming is a different color spine from the cover. Haunting of Hill House is nature on the cover. The Seemingly Impossible Love Life of Amanda Dean is green on the cover. Leave Me Alone, I'm Reading is outside my comfort zone. 2 memoirs this month, 2. And Hunt for Red October is red cover. I mean, that's pretty varied reading list, which I like. We've got some fantasy and memoir and some lit fic, thrillers. It's pretty diverse, and I like a diverse reading list. So I only need to read 5 of these. That's my goal for the whole year. But considering I've already finished 3 for this month, so actually I only need to read 2 of these, come to think of it. But since I've already started 3, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I've read 7 the first month, 8 the next month, so 9 is what I should be reading this month. But October's going to be really busy, and I'm not going to have a lot of time for reading, so it'd be really cool to get 13 done this month, since I might only be able to squeeze in 5 in October. Let's try. Why not? What do I have to lose? Who's going to punish me? I'm not. So, yay! So what are y'all reading this month? What's your priority? What do you like? What do you think of my selection? Have you read any of these? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Oh, Dragon Con, you giveth joy to take away health. Ah.